Hey guys, this is Deborah. So I'm popping in to do a video here. Now it's not live, but my connection is really bad. I'm in a hotel room and someone has told me from the tech world who knows better than I do and gets this better than I do that supposedly their hotels are screening and da da da. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, it's not letting me stream live anyway. Skype webinars and apparently Facebook Live are not very convenient right now. So I'm going to answer 10 questions rapid fire, and I have 9. I was going to answer the 10th one from you. So what I'll do is promise that I'll pop back in and answer it. So if you have a question right now that is coming at you, I'm getting a lot of questions in my notifications in Facebook and I can't keep up with responding to them. And so I'm going to hit a lot of them because they're actually great questions. A lot of you have got them. I just came off of a fitness weekend where I was presenting at a conference called Fitness Fest in Mesa, Arizona. And a lot of the women in my hormone balancing exercise prescription class were there raising their hands saying, you know, it's personal as well as professional. So they want both, but it's kind of about them too. They have some really great questions, and so I want to share some of them. So this is going to go rapid fire. I'm going to give you the question, I'm going to give you the answer, and kind of just spend a couple of minutes on each and every question. So number one, I can't exercise first thing in the morning without getting up at 3:30 a.m. and not willing to do that. So kind of it's what do I do? And that came from one of our tribes members who understand that exercising in the morning to work with cortisol, when cortisol is naturally going to lift you up, give you more productivity, creativity, and energy. And it's better to do it than your intense exercise early and light late. And that's your mantra. Intense early, light late, whether it's intense intervals or weight training, and then lighter later, like going for a walk, doing yoga, soothing. And if you had to push something to the afternoon, probably the lesser of two evils is strength training. It just doesn't rev your system up quite as much as strength training does. So it's not going to do quite as much damage for your calming, for your sleeping and relaxing. So what do? I would agree. You know, getting up at 3:30 in the morning, unless you're willing to go to bed at 7:30 or 8 in the morning, really gets in the way of you doing or getting the adequate amount of sleep. Now, I know some of us are, you would be here potentially and you would say to me, I woke up at, 5 and I couldn't get back to sleep. To me, that's normal. I'm up by 4 or 4:30 in the summer for sure because sun is coming in and I am like, let's go. Sun's up, I'm up. Let's do this. And I can still go to bed when the sun is up at night by 8:30 or 9. That's just me, right? And it's been me in high school and college. It didn't really, I was not the party girl. I was like the girl at slumber parties who wanted to go to sleep. I would get a second wind, unfortunately, and then pay for it. But so I know that we've all got a different way that we operate. However, what I would have you do is somewhere you probably have days off. So optimize those weekends, do earlier in the day workouts then, and see if you can figure out a way to not work quite so hard so late. So if you have to be up really early anyway, then see if you can fit in maybe a lunch hour workout if that's a doable thing. So I'm just offering suggestions, might not be possible. And or as soon as you're done with work, either have those clothes in so you can stop at the gym before a commute, and or as soon as you get home, right to it. And I know we've all got to make sacrifices and compromises in order to make that happen, but you've also got to say, I got to take care of myself. So there's my answer. Question number 2 is, why do I have to wait an hour after waking? So many of you know, either in my book or in videos, I will tell you that. And it's in a podcast that I hosted with Dr. Stuart McGill, who's a world-renowned back pain specialist. He can identify what's causing the back pain with a series of assessments that is much more helpful than just a blanket statement for, if you have back pain, do this. You really want to run from anybody who is suggesting, here's what I do when I have back pain. And you don't want to be the person who's asking, what should I do if I have back pain? That is not good to collectively take a poll, because the reason for your back pain could be very different than the reason for someone else's, and then how it's manifesting in your body can be very different. So using a solution that somebody else can do for good results could put you in harm's way, do more damage than good. So please, please, please take care of yourself. Be sure you're asking someone who's asking you 3 more questions back about how did it happen? What things hurt you? Standing, sitting, walking, lying, because that all gives more information about how to solve it. So back to why wait an hour after waking. As we sleep, we are up vertical, right, during the day, but as we sleep, we are down. And your discs between your vertebrae, so you've got these vertebrae, and in between here, we have these little discs that plump with hydration. Basically, they get more water and fluid and nutrients in them overnight because we don't have the effect of gravity. But that means that when you get up, you have more pressure in your spine. And so by moving in any way, doing planks counts. That's what we call moment pressure, just static pressure. Vacuuming is the same thing. So if you've had a hysterectomy, you already know you're not supposed to vacuum for about 6 weeks because it causes that kind of pressure, right? So it's significant. So that walking, running, weightlifting, yoga, definitely not anything that's what we call BLT, bending, lifting, and twisting together, which is yoga, right? So not even gentle yoga. There are a couple things you can do that are pretty benign, and that would be like on all fours, doing cat-cow back, but you don't want to lie on your back and pull your knees to your chest. You've probably been told to do that years ago, but we no longer think that's a good idea. It's still pressure, and here's the thing, it may feel good, but it's like crack and cocaine. They feel good in the moment too, but then you have to go back and get another hit. So you're waiting an hour to let that fluid dissipate. Within an hour, 90% of that pressure goes away, and then it's much more safe to exercise. So I'm giving you that information so you can be a critical thinker. I know some of you will say, you're a buzzkill, Deborah, because I like to exercise first thing. I like to pop up and get it done, and I know. But if you're looking for time to journal, you just found it. I found it for you. But the point is, we only have so many forward flexions in us. We potentially, 80% of people have back issues. And you will never know you're on your way to a ruptured disc until you've got one. It doesn't give hints. This is not about being stiff in the morning. It's not that. That means probably you've got a little arthritis. But this is not that. So the bigger boned you are, so if I can wrap my fingers around and they actually touch, I'm not a big framed, big boned person. I'm a little less at risk than somebody else, and so would you be. However, that doesn't mean you're not at risk at all. We're all somewhat at risk. So if you want to be safer, many of us negate our stress with exercise. So think about if you couldn't exercise because you were really hurt, what would that do to you? So being a little inconvenienced day to day, it just means you're creating a different routine. Okay, number 3, I'm not going very fast, am I? Can I mix my weights in with my cardio when I do my HIIT? Here's my suggestion. I would say no, because here's what happens. We've seen this in boot camp, and for 10 years, HIIT has been out there. We've now collected enough data that we know injury rates went up 144% since the advent of HIIT and so many people participating. Recently, last week and this week, both on Thursday, there will be and there was a blog going out talking about HIIT, the mistakes you might be making, why injury rates are going up for menopausal women, and the third week, so it's almost like a series. I'm diving a little bit deeper even yet. HIIT is really important because everything you're hearing is telling you, do it, do it, do it, but they're not telling you how, and how not to. And so I want to spare you the injury. I want to get you the results. It's not about doing more. And oftentimes, that's what we feel. We take it on. We feel guilty. We're not pushing hard enough. Oftentimes it's actually the opposite. It's push hard and rest, 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 rest between. Get some rest. I am literally being a lounge lizard right here. I'm getting up, I'm doing some exercise, but I'm on vacation and I feel like I've lost 5 pounds since Thursday. It's Tuesday, right? So take a break, all right? What about body weight? This is question number 4. So I know some of you love your body weight. The problem with body weight, unless you've got a pull-up bar, you're doing pull-ups with your body weight and you're doing other ways to pull. So pull-ups from the top or pull-ups this way. It's very hard to get pulling exercises that help pull your shoulders back and down, and all you're able to do is pushing exercises with body weight, or you're doing tricep dips where you're here, and that actually puts a lot of stress on your shoulders, a little on your elbows as well, but a lot on your shoulders and requires a lot of core work. Now, I know you may feel like, well, I look good, I like it, and it is super convenient. It's okay to pop it in there sometimes, but you've got to get pulling exercises in there, and you just want to be really careful that you don't put undue stress on your shoulders. If there's a better exercise with lower risk, wouldn't you want to do that? I would. So I also want to tell you that it's not going to help bone density, and it's not going to help your metabolism as much. If you want to gain lean muscle tissue, you're actually going to need to pick up some weight. So dumbbells can be just as convenient. Okay, so lean muscle tissue, better bone density, and all of that, the muscle tissue equates to better fat burning. Do it, okay? Not to mention sleeveless. Okay, number 5. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm not a personal trainer. Can I take the Flipping 50 Specialist program? Is that accessible for us? So you may not be aware, Flipping 50 has been around now for 5 years. We've been testing for much longer than that. However, we launched last fall for a small group the certificate, 3 different levels, the specialist and advanced specialist options. And I'm getting a lot of questions because we're doing a lot of conferences actually talking about it right here in Arizona. So yes, absolutely, it's fantastic for a yoga instructor, for a health coach, for personal trainers or group fitness instructors, because you're seeing a lot of women in midlife in your classes. And I know a lot of you may be in those classes, but you also may be in the front of those classes teaching. It'd be an excellent way for you to expand the value and to expand what you can offer somebody. So maybe another revenue stream, because if you're here watching, we have an audience and we're looking for support and help. Number 6, do I do live workshops? And namely, that question came out, do I do live workshops for the certificate for the specialist program? And someone else asked about retreats. I would love to do a workshop with you. When are you coming to X, Y, and Z? So here's the thing. I will come for a group already established. We're not kind of putting ourselves out there at this point saying, okay, we're going to be in Mesa, Arizona, and we have room for 10 people. We're not doing that yet. But we are, for instance, coming back to do a training with 10 to 15 trainers, instructors who want some training for their staff members, and they're inviting outside people in so that I'll come to them and they don't have to travel. That works. We also do a live retreat. We're doing one in June in Boulder for you, for any of you. But if you're coming to see me, you got to be starting to get ready for altitude, for heat, and you got to do that now, okay? So I also am going to be in Canada. So if you're a Canada friend, I want to hear from you at a fitness conference called CanFit Pro. And if you're a fitness instructor, yoga instructor, health coach, personal trainer, let me know, because I have one free pass. We're going to do a giveaway. So between this and my Fitness Marketing Mastery site, I'm going to give one to somebody, and I have another code where you can save $50 if you want to attend, because I can't give everybody a free one, unfortunately. Next question is, do I need collagen powder? Here's the deal. If you're doing Flipping 50s paleo option. So you don't have to be paleo, but it means it's made with beef. So it doesn't have soy or dairy in it, but it does have animal protein for those of us who do better with that. So you've got essential amino acids for the muscle, and then you've got collagen for your gut, your face, your hair, your nails, and you've got the best of both worlds in there. So it's like a double hit of collagen and muscle building. So you don't have to do it in addition if you're doing that. Now, if you're doing the Flipping 50 plant-based, you may also want to add collagen. So you can add collagen to your coffee, or it's flavorless, so I add collagen directly to a smoothie if I'm doing plant-based, but usually I'm rotating it in and out. I'm using paleo so often. That's my favorite as far as creamy texture, and I love my plant-based better than I love any other plant type of protein powder. It's smooth, it's creamy, it blends really well. Can't say that about everyone. So there's my answer. You don't need it if you're using paleo. For sure, you're getting the best of both worlds. Number 8 is burning fat. I am on, this is quote unquote, I'm on a super low calorie diet right now. I can't exercise because I'm exhausted, but I really want to lose weight. What's wrong? What's wrong is that, right? You're on a super low calorie diet. You're not going to feel good while you're on that super low calorie diet. So you really got to kick that to the curb. You've got to start getting more high nutrient dense foods in. Tons and tons of vegetables, but some healthy fats, some avocado, some salmon, and make sure that you're also supplementing. So there is some proof that in a low calorie diet, a really high protein diet of that low cal diet can help prevent muscle losses. But at some point, you are just going to hit the wall. And your body needs something to go on. So if you're on a really low calorie diet and you're getting evidence back that you're super exhausted, you're shutting down your metabolism, and that's what the body does. If you eat less, you message the body to burn less. So the goal is to eat more of the right foods so that you feel energy to exercise less, but of the right kind. So you want to kind of help yourself burn fat both by eating more right food and exercising small amounts even while you're eating less. But you should still feel good. You should be sleeping good, digesting well, not constipated, and your skin should look good. People should start commenting, you look good, you look different, you're glowing, something is good. And if they don't, you start to look more tired, more haggard, and you're miserable. That is just telling you you're not on a program that's going to sustain you, sister. So I know it's hard to get that message in here because we've been so conditioned, but not a good thing. That's why it's not working. All right. Okay. So number 9 is, where can I get all the details about, waiting an hour before I wake up, about, what happens next after I've done your program or I've read your book. Right now, we're talking all about fat burning, number 1, in Fit You, and the 50% off rate is available this week only and done. So we're enrolling a new group of people to work through May and June to be through that for 8 weeks. That's a perfect opportunity for you. You get 8 weeks, actually 9, depending on when you get in, because you get the pre-prep, because I need to work on your head, right? All of that. What is really fat burning? What does that look like? How can I fit it in? I talk about all those things before you get started, so your mindset is good. And now's the time to get in and get those delivered right to your mailbox every week. I whisper in your ear with a coaching call through a video, and I jump into live Facebook, your private group, to coach you every Sunday afternoon about what's going on and literally answer your questions. So you've got access to me in a way that only private coaching clients usually do. If you've been on flipping50.com, you know the rate for private coaching is somewhat significant. So if your budget needs something a little bit more budget friendly, this is a great way to go, especially if you have 20 or more pounds to lose, okay? Secondly, you've done a program. Now what? You need to regroup, you need to come back. I hear that all the time. Here's the reason we created the cafe. The Flipping 50 Cafe is our membership site. It is a perfect landing spot after you've done a program. The 28-day kickstart, the After 50 fitness formula for women, Fit You. You may have read the book, but it's even better if you've gone through a program and you're looking for what's the next step. How do I stay connected? I'm feeling nervous, right? Like, how am I going to do this on my own? So you now got the foundation. And what you want to know is, how do I stick with it, right? And this is it. So you jump in, we use that foundation, and I provide you with recipes that fit the lifestyle that you're taking in. So we've eliminated the dairy and the soy and all of the biggest allergens, telling you how to modify any recipe that might have a little bit of them in if you know you don't tolerate that. There are some vegetarian and vegan recipes in there. Primarily, many of them have meat, just so we can hit that quota of protein, and lots of vegetables. Some that are, for instance, I think in May, it is how to eat for estrogen balance, right? So you're learning how to eat and or cook and getting expert interviews and a challenge every month. And you may not want to do the challenge I put out for this month. This month, in fact, it is how to do a walking challenge, a 4-week walking challenge that includes a little bit of HIIT in the middle that makes walking kind of your next level up. If you're a beginner, it's a great place to start. If you are a runner, you could look at it as how to run in 4 weeks and how to up your time and duration and intensity without getting injured. So it's a smart progression to take you through. And, you know, if it's just you're in a northern climate like I am and the sun comes out and you just want to be more active, maybe it's in addition to what you're already doing, just walking in the evening, maybe with a partner, a friend to vent. Perfect thing to do. You'll find all kinds of those. In fact, 3.5 years worth of archives in there, and soon archived and organized for you in courses. So if you want weight loss, if you need bone density, if you're just getting started with really how do I eat now, how do I exercise now, you'll find it all inside. So there you go. That is what you'll find inside the cafe, and how to kind of keep things going and not get nervous. So now I'm going to come back here. I will answer your question. Just pop it in for me. And since I'm having to come back with my technical difficulties in my hotel room, I'll come back and answer probably more than one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll put some of those links to the cafe and to Fit You. So don't sit on the fence on this one. Now's the time to get in. All right. You still got it, girl. See you soon.